Welcome to our reading of There's Something Wrong in Here by Elizabeth Flanagan. The scene is a dilapidated, abandoned farmhouse at dusk or dawn. It's the present. There is a thunderstorm outside. Lane enters, talking on her phone. She feels for the light switch, finds it, and turns on the lights. They flicker low, then bright, and then settle in an amber glow. She stumbles slightly on the threshold. She looks down at something on the mat, touches it, rubs it between her fingers, and then rubs it off on her jeans. She continues talking.
Oh, yeah, I was already on hold.
She closed the door behind her but didn't lock it.
No, I was calling for Detective Burke. Well, actually, he was supposed to call me. I thought that he might have tried calling while I was on the road. There's no reception. Huh? Well, yeah, you can tell him that I came to the farmhouse. He'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. Should I leave my number or... Hello? Hello? What the fuck?
Ash appears near the cellar door.
Salutation.
Ash? I know you're here. They're not looking for you anymore.
Ash comes a little further out of the shadow. As he passes a rocking chair, it sways just slightly.
Are you in the garden?
No,
I'm gonna dig in the garden first, where the ground is softer.
it's raining. And you hate getting your hands dirty.
I even brought some gloves.
I couldn't get you to pull a weed when we were kids, and now you're gonna start gardening?
I only stopped going in the garden after the rabbits got in the cellar.
We hear the wind.
I told everyone this time that if I didn't find you, I'd let it go.
Finally.
But I lied.
Of course.
Why would anyone think that I'd give up on the mystery surrounding my big brother's disappearance? Especially now that you're sending me signs.
I'm not sending you anything. You keep showing up.
Like the rocking chair a few seconds ago.
There's a draft.
It's an old house, but still. It's happening more and more lately. Messages, signs. I don't think I'm reading into things, you know?
Isn't that basically what signs are, though? People reading into things?
The lights flicker.
Yeah, I'm sure there's an explanation for that too.
Propane could be low.
Lane moves around the house as if searching or taking inventory, but still keeping her distance from the cellar. She comes back to the kitchen and opens the window.
It's musty in here. Cellar never lost that smell. I called that detective again.
Why would you do that?
The cops are closing the case, or your file, or whatever.
Good.
Say that you just left town, like an adult runaway, or whatever an adult runaway is called.
Pretty sure that's just someone who leaves.
They won't even call you a missing person, because never had any proof.
Proof of what?
Guess you just disappearing would be easier than the other thing.
What other thing?
Anyway, no one's looking for you.
Except you, apparently.
The curtain blows into the room with the wind. Lane feels a slight chill. She closes the window, but not completely.
I mean, you've left me before, but not this long. Not without contacting me. You didn't just leave me here, did you?
Lane reaches in her purse and pulls out a soda bottle cap.
Oh, and I found this at the bottom of my bag. That grape soda we used to drink. They don't even sell these anymore. I mean...
Well, maybe it's a sign to clean out your bag more often.
So I'm just gonna sit here until you say something or show yourself or make something float across the room or pile up chairs in a pyramid on the kitchen table. Because I know that you're gone. I'm sure of it. I feel it in my bones. It's like how I knew that you broke your arm before you even hit the pavement. But I'm also beginning to think that you might actually be here. Whatever. You can stop sending your 6th sense clues. I'm here now, and I'm not gonna leave
The
until...
front door swings open, stops halfway. We hear the sound of a storm.
There. Like that. Didn't I just lock that door?
You did it.
This time, she locks it. A buzzing starts, like the sound of a fluorescent light bulb. It's low at first. The lights flicker. Buzzing increases. We hear the sound of thunder, distant, like a low rumble. Lane brushes the dirt with the toe of her shoe.
This dirt, here by the door, means you were in the garden.
And
And the powder. I know what it is, here and there by
where?
the cellar.
So?
I guess that must have noticed it before, but it just seems clearer to me now. Like it's new.
It's not.
There's a clap of thunder. The lights flicker. Ash moves towards the cellar.
There's a storm outside, Lane.
Where's the lightning?
Again, a flicker of the lights, as if the power is about to go out.
Sometimes thunder is just thunder.
Flash of lightning followed by a low rumble. It sounds closer.
Yeah. I'm gonna find you this time. Because he's here too, right?
Bang! The window slams shut.
Fuck! Is it you or not, Ash?
I told you, it's not.
The lights flicker and the wind picks up.
Maybe you should go. Maybe you shouldn't be here.
Lane has been shocked as if feeling the electricity of the storm.
The hair on my arms is standing up.
There's an electric charge building up from the storm.
The wind blows stronger.
It's so cold in here.
Lights glow briefly.
They say it brings peace to find the body.
Is that what you're looking for?
Or closure. Maybe they mean closure. As long as they know.
No, what, Lane?
You hear that buzzing again, louder now.
Maybe that's where the closure comes in. Yeah. Probably not. Fuck closure.
Lane gets up and opens the window again. The curtain blows in from the storm.
Been wearing your St. Christopher pendant. Had to Google him. Patron saint of travelers. Is that why you gave it to me? It fell out of my glove compartment at a stop sign. Twice. What's that if not a sign?
Coincidence? And I never gave that to you.
Remember when we told the guy at the gas station that the machine ate our money and he gave us free sodas? He had to have been onto us.
Yeah, he may have been.
Raced our bikes home. Or you raced. I actually walked mine.
You got so many flat tires.
But you never went too far ahead.
Climbed up into the tree with our contraband.
You broke your arm that day.
It was fun until then.
Dad really lost it when he found out about the sodas.
I told you to get rid of that bottle cap.
Squeezed the cap so tight in my hand, it left a mark for weeks. Then he made me hang on to it, like some sort of penance or something. Is that the year the treehouse came down in the storm? I don't remember. Huh. Well, I will start in the garden When the rain stops. You loved it out there.
I did. But I don't think the rain is gonna stop.
You were like Ferdinand. Didn't even care when the rabbits took over in the spring. Until he started using it for target practice.
Don't think he ever hit any of them, though.
Maybe that's why they ended up burrowing in the cellar. Rooting rabbits.
Not sure.
I thought he said rotting rabbits at first. I didn't understand. But then when the rabbits did get into the cellar and into the poison he'd set out, couldn't get that image out of my mind. The rat poison looked like flour the first time I saw it, sprinkled on the floor, mixed in with the dirt. Looked almost like, remember when you made those bunny prints in the hallway at Easter?
Yeah.
I heard you, so I got up. You thought I didn't see you, but I did. I saw you. I wouldn't go into the cellar after that. Refused to grab jars of tomato sauce or gather potatoes. It was one thing to watch the rabbits in the garden. But rotting in the cellar with the winter vegetables? Who would want to see that?
No one.
I didn't mean for anything bad to happen. I really didn't.
I know you didn't.
If they're not signs, Ash, then what's happening to me?
You're just in your own head. You don't have to be, you know. You don't even have to keep looking.
The lights glow warm, steady.
Ash?
The lights flicker and then back to the steady glow.
Oh my God. What am I doing here? What the fuck am I doing here? This is so stupid. Bunch of fucking bullshit talking to myself. Everyone's right. Just need to stop. Stop.
Stop.
We hear the wind.
Wait.
I just think
No, it's okay.
I gotta
Don't.
go.
Not yet, please.
Lane throws her bag over her shoulder. She somehow catches her hand on her necklace, and the St. Christopher medal slips from her neck onto the floor.
God damn it, Ash. Fine. Keep it.
She throws it back on the table.
Wherever the fuck you are.
She bumps the bookshelf as she turns to leave and knocks a book askew. She mindlessly shoves it back on the shelf and then looks again and slowly takes it out.
Charlotte's Web? Huh? What, are you trading me for the necklace or something?
Actually, they're both mine.
This was my favorite. Mrs. B read it to us in 3rd grade. I told her that I'd already read it the year before. But I didn't say that you read it to me.
You read some of it, what you could.
I figured you picked it so I wouldn't be scared of rats. Did you?
No. Maybe
Templeton still freaked me out though.
came through when it counts.
Such a good book. The brother was kind of a jerk.
The sister was a little spoiled.
I always tried to get you to stay and read for longer at night.
You made me reread whole chapters because you said you fell asleep the night before and you couldn't remember what happened.
I pretended to be asleep, but I could hear you when you closed the door. Well, you turned the doorknob so I wouldn't hear the click.
I didn't want to wake you up.
Felt like you were locking me in.
I had to keep you safe.
You tried really hard to make things
Normal.
but so a book that neither one of us has read in probably over a decade was just sitting here on that shelf that it probably hasn't been on him.
It was my favorite too. You should keep it.
Who says I even have to find anything? I can just say that I did. I can tell that cop that he has to get out here and check. Like, maybe if I...
Lie?
Lane grabs her phone. The lights flicker and the buzzing starts slow.
Great, no signal. Yes, I hear you, universe. There are no signs.
Electricity crackles.
Yeah, hello? Hi, I'm calling for Detective Burke again. I know, I understand that he's busy, but it's important.
Lights flicker, on, off. The wind is picking up.
Lainey.
No, so it's different this time. No, I can hold, but I really need him to call me back, please? Hello?
There's a sound of thunder. A moment later, another, but it feels further away this time. The lights flicker and then the barest glow for a moment. The static in the room lessens. Ash stands still, slows her breathing as if she's counting to 10 in her head. She goes to the window.
That tree's gonna come down in the storm, like the treehouse did.
Lane takes the bottle cap from her pocket and looks at it for a second, clenches it in her hand. A clap of thunder, louder this time. She starts counting again. She stops counting and finally opens her hand and lets the bottle cap roll out onto the table.
Maybe they're not signs, just terrible memories.
The middle ridge of the bottle cap has cut her palm. It's bloody.
Your hand, you're bleeding.
Wasn't because they got into the garden, was it? Had something to do with the treehouse, right? That's why he made me put the poison down there?
That was a long time ago.
He didn't put the poison in the cellar. He made me do it. After that storm. You told him that you'd do it for me, but...
He wanted you to take responsibility.
He had me sprinkle it straight onto the floor. In the corners of the cellar, right into the dirt. Said that's where the rats come in.
You remember when Templeton rolls away the rotten egg? He rolls it through the barnyard and it breaks and...
I think he knew that the rabbits would get in. I think he did that on purpose. He made me.
I pretended to be the Easter Bunny that year, remember? Lainey, do you remember?
You told me not to go into the cellar anymore. You said the soil was bad, that it was contaminated, that even the air was toxic to breathe.
It still is. Don't go down there.
Soft rumble of thunder, low buzzing.
Maybe you don't want to be found.
The lights glow again, amber, almost warm. The static buzzing has stopped. Just a slight rumble of thunder.
You used to say everything has an explanation.
Because most things do.
You always made me feel less scared. Even when it didn't make sense.
You don't have to be.
Like not keeping anything under my bed. Because if there was nothing there, then...
There was nothing to be afraid of.
Weren't you really just explaining things away?
No, that's not.
Low buzz.
Making me doubt myself of what was right in front of me.
I just wanted to protect you.
Pretending like things were fine when they were really, really... Fuck the garden. I'm going into the cellar myself.
The front door of the house swings open wide.
No, No, I know that I locked that door last time. I'm not.
She closes the front door in hard.
You know, you could still buy that soda at the Quick Stop. It's not like it stopped existing. You just don't see it anymore.
Lane goes back to the cellar door. She reaches out to grab the doorknob. The lights glow white hot for a second and fade again. She reaches out again, grabs the doorknob, and there's a loud crack of thunder and flash of lightning. She lets go.
It's just a storm, right, Ash? A discharge of electricity. There's nothing.
She turns the doorknob slowly, but it's locked.
Shit.
Why can't you ever leave things alone?
I don't remember a key.
Because there never was one. What are you doing?
She opens a kitchen drawer, then another. She pulls out a screwdriver. The phone vibrates on the table.
Fuck!
Don't answer that.
She drops the screwdriver.
Stop!
The lights flash bright. Maybe a bulb breaks.
Hello?
Lady, don't!
Buzzing intensifies. Clap of thunder.
Hello?
Please.
Oh, detective! Yes! Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Are you there?
Slows, quiets, just the sound of the wind.
I don't know what else to do.
You don't have to do anything.
I tried, Ash. I really tried.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
I told Mrs. B that because she read us Charlotte's Web, I thought that meant that she would understand us, maybe even help us. She never liked me much, but I knew she liked you. She always mentioned how she had you in her class a couple years before me, asked why I couldn't be more like my brother. But she wouldn't believe me. Said I was telling stories, that he was a man of God, and lying was a sin. Must be one fucked up God then.
Don't, Lainey.
Funny thing is, Dad couldn't stand her. And here she was protecting him. That's all I could think of when I saw him right before you disappeared.
Lights flicker, and then a low buzz.
He was getting gas at the Quick Stop. And it was like I could hear Mrs. B's voice clear as day, talking about sin. His car was all packed up. He was gonna leave, Ash. Just leave. Like it was nothing.
So?
So I went up to him.
Why?
I knew it would piss him off too, me walking up to him like that, after all this time. I told him that you needed to talk to him.
I was in the garden and then he showed up.
Told him that you had something to tell him.
That's why he was so insistent on talking to me. And angrier when I acted like I had nothing to say.
I couldn't just let him leave.
He wouldn't go. He wouldn't leave me alone. He just stood there.
And then what if he did? If he left?
He followed me into the cellar. I was gonna put the garden tools away.
Maybe you'd finally feel free to go too.
I thought it couldn't be a coincidence. It meant something to see him standing there.
People had to see. They had
See what?
to see him for what he was. We couldn't let him get away with it. What else was I supposed to do?
Let him go.
But then neither of you came back.
Buzzing stops cold.
You were never looking for me.
Nothing. Silence. Just the branches scratching from the wind outside.
If I find him, will I find you too?
You made him come back.
They have to know that something bad happened here.
I don't want them to know!
Lights flash bright for a moment. Lane goes back down to the cellar door and starts jamming the screwdriver into the lock.
They up looking for you because there was no proof. They said that you left town just like he did. It was easier for them that way. No one cared what happened up here before, and no one cares about it now.
Lainey.
You're not sitting in the flower bed anymore, Ash. You're not that boy hiding in a treehouse or locking me in my room. And I know that if he showed up here, I knew that maybe he would try to hurt you again. But I knew that this time you could hurt him back. You could hurt him worse.
The lights are flickering, electricity buzzing. She goes back to the cellar.
I tried to do something. I tried because I never wanted anything bad to happen.
And I made sure it didn't.
The screwdriver snaps in his hand. The incessant buzzing loops in with the wind outside.
Treehouse didn't get blown down in a storm. He tore it down. You just never remembered that.
Huh. Mrs. B did come out here. How could I forget that? I hid.
Ran up to the treehouse when she pulled up the road.
I didn't want to get in trouble. I was scared.
You were always scared, and I knew right away what you'd done. You think Mrs. B didn't believe you, but she did. She believed you enough to come out that day. I could tell she didn't want to be here. She tried to take me aside, but he wouldn't let her talk to me alone. So she asked me, right in front of him, what was I supposed to say? Think about it. What could have happened? What if they separated us, or took you away? Or took you and left me behind? And what if it was worse? Who would protect you then?
Why didn't anything change?
And she looked almost relieved when I told her you were just imagining things. Don't you see, things had to be normal.
The wind is blowing.
He didn't tell her, that's why. You didn't tell her, Ash. You didn't tell her the truth. Who protected you? You must have been so afraid.
The wind dies down. The room is quiet.
But I'm not anymore. Because there's nothing to be afraid of.
The buzzing starts again, low.
I took care of him, Nick. Took him with me. Right down the stairs. No one's gonna find anything. You're right. He is here. He's buried deep down, far below any rooting rabbits or rotting vegetables, right where he belongs.
The lights flicker. The buzzing intensifies.
I would never leave you alone. Can't you see that by now?
The front door opens. The wind blows through. Lights flicker on, then off. There's a low rumble. The cellar door slowly swings open. Lane is still, and then she reaches for her bag. She takes out the book, places it on the table, grabs the bottle cap and sets it on top. She then picks up the St. Christopher and tucks it under her shirt next to her skin. She finally turns and looks through the open cellar door. After a moment, she picks up her phone and makes her final call.
Yeah. I'd like to leave a message for Detective Burke. Tell him he was right. There's nobody here.
The windows rattle. The wind builds up to a howl. The electrical buzzing rises and then blends in with the wind outside until, one by one, each sound disappears until all we hear is the low buzz and then silence.
mutations.
Lights flash. Blackout. The end.